there are 5 types of chemical reactions, and so we're going to look at those 5 types of chemical reactions and specifically what their chemical equations would look like so that you can recognize them. So let's get right into the lesson. The first type of chemical reaction is called a synthesis reaction. These are also known as combination reactions. The definition is 2 or more substances combine to make one product. This is the only type of chemical reaction that has only one product. So here you see A plus B yields AB. This is one product. You could also have something like a tertiary compound forming, like A plus B plus C, if you will, and they all form one compound, A, B, C. So that will be one product. It's easy to recognize a synthesis reaction in that it does only have one product. You can abbreviate synthesis, if you would like to abbreviate it, SYN. Now on the classwork worksheet, the 1 through 21 balancing and classifying reactions worksheet that we've been using in class along with our notes, if you look at the very first equation, we've already balanced it. So here you see that this would be a synthesis reaction because it has only one product. This is the only type of reaction with one product. The second type of reaction is exactly the opposite of a synthesis reaction. We call this a decomposition reaction. Look at the root word here, decompose. The definition of a decomposition reaction is when one substance, so one reactant, breaks apart into 2 or more substances. The key feature of a decomposition reaction, the best way to recognize this, is it has only one reactant. So as I said, it's exactly the opposite of a synthesis reaction. Here we have a compound, AB, and it yields A plus B. Notice it broke apart over here. One reactant, and it decomposed or broke apart. You can abbreviate decomposition, decomp, if you would like. On the worksheet, the classwork worksheet, if you look at number 2, that is the very first decomposition reaction. Notice you have one reactant here on the reactant side, and it broke apart into 2 substances, in this case potassium chloride and oxygen. The third type of chemical reaction is called a single replacement reaction, and these are also known as single displacement reaction. Now, from the name single replacement, you can tell one single thing is getting replaced. So let's look at the definition. One element replaces a similar element in a compound. So what that means is if you have a metal, it will replace only a metal or a cation. Remember, in your ionic compounds, the cations are written first, the metals are first. Nonmetals replace nonmetals. So I'm going to, in a second, give you an analogy that hopefully will help you think through these a little bit better. So in my analogy that I give you, my boys are my metals and my girls are my nonmetals. Here's the general format of a single replacement reaction. You have an element plus a compound forming a different element and a different compound. Now these can be switched around as far as you could have a compound plus an element and then a new compound plus a new element. Now in my example here, you'll notice I have some little pictures of some boys and some girls. Well, this is, think about going to a dance. So we'll call these, say we're going to the homecoming dance or maybe a prom or something. So some people come to the dance alone. This is my element. He is a single element. It is alone. It could be a girl by itself, but in this case I have a picture of a boy coming along. And here you see my couple. They're my compound. The couple, boy-girl couple, is my ionic compound. Now, metals replace metals, nonmetals replace nonmetals. So one thing's fixing to get replaced. So this fella here decides, hey, I think she's cute. I think I want to dance with her. So he's going to cut in. Well, he's going to cut in and kick out the thing that is like him. So the boy replaces the boy. Notice. You see little green shirt boy by himself over here. He's been kicked out. And then finally, you look at your new compound, your new couple. We have these two dancing together. This is your new couple. They just rearranged, but one thing got replaced by a similar thing. On your worksheet, number 3 is the first single replacement reaction. You have a compound here, and there's your element by itself. Notice this is a nonmetal, so it's going to kick out the chlorine. Look over here. Chlorine got kicked out. That's your new element by itself. And now sodium is dancing with fluorine. Notice they're dancing together. New couple. All right. The fourth type of reaction is a double replacement reaction. In this type of reaction, ions of 2 ionic compounds exchange places and form 2 new compounds. Here you have a general format AB plus CD equals or yields AD plus CB. One thing that will always be true with your double replacements, if you notice, look at A and D, they're the outer two. They'll be the new couple over here, your new compound. The outer two come together and form your new compound. The inner two come together, C and B, and form your other compound. You've got to make sure you keep your metals first, okay? So my first element is considered always going to be a metal. In this case, B is a nonmetal. Here, the C is a metal, and the D is a nonmetal. Okay, so the boys have to come first. Remember, y'all, when you're dancing, boys are supposed to lead. So we're thinking again about this analogy of a dance. So if you remember from the last example, this was my new couple that formed. So, you know, he cut in and he's now dancing with the girl. Well, the guy that got kicked out, he decided, hey, I'm going to dance, I'm going to have fun. So he found him someone else to dance with. So notice we have another boy-girl couple and a boy-girl couple. Now, in this case, if you look at what happens, the outer two come together. So this boy and this girl should be together on this side somewhere, and this boy and this girl should be together. They're going to swap partners. They're double replacement. Notice, new couple, new couple. On your worksheet, number 5 is the first double replacement reaction that you see. Finally, the 5th type of reaction is a combustion reaction. This is when you have a substance, usually a hydrocarbon, that's heated in oxygen and produces carbon dioxide and water. Remember, combustion means to burn. So this is your general format, and on your worksheet, 7, 8, and 9 are your combustion reactions. All right, that sums up the types of reactions. Let me just remind you, combustion can be abbreviated COMB. Single replacement SR, and double replacement DR. Forgot to mention that on the last slides. All right, now take that worksheet we've been looking at and try to classify the rest of those and see if you can get those correct, and then check them with your answers in class.